Hello, it's Garden Invaders here. Could you let us in? Could be a while, Andy. Could be a while. Morning, welcome to Garden Invaders, the show that comes to the rescue of gardens in distress. Yes, in just one day, we can transform a boring backyard into something to treasure. Now, the lucky garden owner will get a design from me and, of course, the materials and the muscle to put it all together. But there is a catch, because they have to answer the tricky gardening questions in order to win the plants to complete the design. Andy? Yeah? How did they get in behind us? Tradesman's entrance. Today we're in Wellesbourne in Warwickshire to invade the garden of Maria Waters, who's being helped out today by her brother Eamonn. Maria has been a keen gardener, but since moving into her new house 2 years ago, she just hasn't had time to get to grips with the garden. If the Garden Invaders help to get it into shape, Maria promises to look after it with tender, loving care. So is it true you have your mother to blame for this?
I do indeed.
So what's all that about?
Well, last year I tried to have my garden done and I was really sort of beside myself, and I kept phoning my mum every week and really complaining, can't get anybody to do it, don't know what I'm going to do, don't know what I'm going to do. And she said, right up to Garden Invaders.
And here we are.
Yeah.
And here we are. And here is brother.
Yeah,
as
brother.
well. What are you, kind of family workhorse or something?
Yeah, very much so, and that's really why I need you guys, because
You've had enough.
I have, yeah. I want to retire. Yeah.
Retire from the family.
Very much so. Yeah. That would be good. So
Hand back your birth certificate.
if you can sort this mess out for me, I would be just ever so appreciative. Really would.
Because otherwise it's going to be down to you, isn't it?
It is going to be down to me, yeah.
It's-
I'm not very good.
It seems to me, I don't know what you think, Andy, but it seems to me there are a lot of unfinished projects in this garden.
There are a lot of unstarted projects as well.
So why don't you actually pull your finger out and do something about it yourself? You seem like a strong, fit kind of girl.
Main reason is time. I'm kept very busy at work and work long hours. So yes, by the time I get home, I like doing the nice bits of gardening, you know, the watering, a little bit of weeding, but the really hard work stuff, that's where I need the help.
That's where you need Eamonn.
Handy, huh?
So what sort of garden are you after then? What kind of style?
Well, it's quite a small sort of garden.
I've noticed
and
that.
It's an unusual house. It's part of an old inn, but it's been converted, so it's also got a very modern feel to it. So something along that lines would be very nice.
So modern and traditional all at once.
Have you been swatting? Do you think she's been swatting?
Oh, I know she's been swatting.
Yeah, really?
Because she's a girly swat. So.
Excellent, of course, obviously. Yeah. So we'll take you this way and find out whether you have been.
Okay.
And you can do some work with me.
Good.
Right. Thanks, Dan. So what we're going to do is we're going to pave this area here. It's going to be a dining patio for the table and chairs, nice and close to the kitchen. Yeah. Then down at the end of the garden here, another patio, then with a pergola over the top, and reuse Maria's bench so it's somewhere nice and private to sit. Now, thanks, Joe. You're going to be an invader for the day, so you can wear this lovely T-shirt that we've had handmade specially for you.
Top
First
quality.
of all, exactly. Now, the first job we've got to do is to dig up the turf from over here. So if you can give me a hand with that.
Okay.
Right, Maria, we're in your neighbour's garden, which is a bit of a sun trap.
Lovely, isn't it?
Very nice indeed. And we've laid out for you all the plants you can get. There are 4 major groups that Andy's chosen for you. We're going to start off there with shade-loving plants. Okay.
Yes.
Behind us then, some trees. Okay, get some height, because Andy was talking about that already, about the fact to try and get you a little bit of privacy. It won't happen immediately, but obviously when they grow.
Very nice.
Some climbers. Again, it's all about height, covering some of those fences potentially. And then finally, perennials. Okay, every garden needs some of those. Bring back lovely colour every year to your borders. Okay, so those are your plants. Okay, but also the kind of finishing touch for the garden, a barbecue, so you can entertain. Clearly you like to do that, given the number of seats you have available. All right, but that's a question for Eamonn later on.
Oh, right.
Nothing to do with you.
Okay.
Your job is to get as many plants as possible. We're going to start with your first group over here,
Yep.
the shade-loving plants. First up, the ostrich or shuttlecock fern. Now this fern gets its common name from the way the fronds look like ostrich feathers and a badminton shuttlecock. The fronds die back in the winter, but it is hardy. Astilbe japonica Deutschland. With a slight fragrance and frothy cream conical flowers, the Astilbe has a wonderful drifting effect when established. And hostas. The thick blue leaves are highlighted with a creamy central band, producing a stunning 3-foot wide clump. In late spring, the clumps are topped with 20-inch stalks of white flowers. A vigorous shade lover, it creates a lush feel to any border for many months. Okay, so here is your first question for the shade-loving plants. Good luck, Maria. What is the popular name for the herb Amaracea rustic, the root of which is used to make a sauce to serve with roast beef? Is it chervil, horseradish or mustard?
I think it's horseradish.
Correct answer, yes, very good. Well done. You like your food. Those plants are going to get whisked into the garden. All we need is an invader to do that.
Lovely.
And it's up to you, you can have what you like.
On TV, everything looks much bigger than it actually is. And to prove that this is a very, very small garden, I've laid out some garden invaders. And it's nearly 4 invaders long by 2 wide, so it is genuinely very small. But even though it's a small space, what I've decided to do is divide it up into 2 distinct areas. So we're going to have a dining area here that's near the kitchen, and then at the end we're going to have a seating area which is going to be underneath the pergola, so it's going to have shade and it's going to have privacy from all the overlooking windows. Now this is an old coaching inn, but it's in a modern development, so we've got this mixture of old and new going on here. So I'm going to use traditional materials, stone, gravel and timber, but the shape of the design, very rectangular and linear, is going to make it have quite a modern feel. Right, now come on, we have actually got to build a garden, so get up.
So is Eamonn the only brother you had to boss around then?
No, I have 2 other brothers. All live a distance away up in Yorkshire, and one is in Ireland. But Eamonn's very good. He does come and do some bits and pieces for me.
Do you not hassle the others as well then?
I hassle them all, yeah.
But Eamonn's the only one to respond.
They all respond in varying degrees, but yeah, Eamonn's the good one on the outdoor bit.
Is he?
Yeah.
Bless him. We need to get some more plants. Next up, the trees. Salix caprea, commonly known as the Kilmarnock willow. This small tree has pendulous branches, which gives it an umbrella-like appearance. Kilmarnock is a male form with silver catkins that appear sometimes as early as December, but in March develop golden tips as the anthers appear. And Trachylospermum jasminoides, or the star jasmine. Star jasmine is a woody evergreen climber with rich dark green leaves which turn bronze in winter. From mid to late summer it produces pure white fragrant flowers. Grow in a well-drained soil in full sun or partial shade and protect it from cold, drying winds. So those are your trees. Here's your question. What would you expect the shape of the leaf of a plant that was described as dentate to be? Are they hairy, heart-shaped or tooth-shaped?
Tooth-shaped, Mark.
That's the correct answer. Who would you like as an invader?
Danny.
Danny, good choice, excellent, he's on his way.
Maria's lawn was half dead, it was absolutely rubbish. The reason for that is with a new development, they drive a lot of machinery over the ground, it compacts it, it squeezes the life out of it. So whether you're putting new grass or plants in, you've got to fork it over. And you've got to fork it over to the depth of a spade or a fork like this. And that will allow air and nutrients down to the roots of the plants or the lawn. Do that and everything will be... Designing a garden, it's really easy to do it on paper and think about it all in 2 dimensions, but you need to think about it in 3 dimensions. It's very important to get some structure and some height into a garden, especially in a new garden that's very flat and very dull with nothing in it. And a brilliant way of doing that is to build a pergola like this, because it can give you privacy, it can give you shade, and it can screen ugly views, because you can hardly see Dave up there at all. Now, this is actually a kit. And all the posts are slotted, and all the cross rails are slotted like this. So it all, in theory, fits together quite easily, doesn't it?
It should. The only thing to remember really is that you always make your top piece, the frame first, then you can mark exactly where the holes go. If you get the 4 uprights correct, it'll always be spot on.
So it's all really about getting the post in the right
It's about
place.
getting the post right, just as long as they're upright square and they fit tightly to this frame, it'll always look good.
And because this is a kit, we really have got this up in record time, so we're doing quite well, but we've still got a patio to lay.
Let's get on with it.
Yeah, okay.
I tell you what, it's a beautiful day, isn't it?
It is.
Absolutely stunning, and it'll only get better when you see your new garden.
Looking forward
Next
to it.
group of plants up for grabs are these behind us, the very beautiful plants. Clematis fugimasumi. This is a real winner if you like clematis. It has large, bright, sky blue flowers. This is a Japanese variety, compact and has a long flowering period from May until September. And Clematis multi-blue. Multi-blue has attractive navy blue double flowers. These appear all summer long, although ones produced towards the end of the season may be semi-double. Plant in a sheltered position that's not north-facing. Gorgeous stuff. Here's your question for them, good luck. A plant must live for at least how many seasons to be called a perennial? Is it 3, 5 or 10?
3. Mark.
That's a correct answer. You know more than you think, don't you? I'm going to take some of these into your back garden, see how they're getting on. You chill out here in the sun, and I'll come back and get you so we can try and get these plants for your garden as well, all right? But that's going to be a little plant identification question, I would guess. All right? Mr. Sturgeon,
Ah, Mr. Evans.
what is the current state of play?
Well, we've nearly finished this patio here, and you can have a look. You can see it when the sun's out like that. You can see you get all that shadow there from the pergola.
You'd have to be 4 inches wide.
Well, that's why we're going to grow these clematis up it, and this is going to be a nice shady corner of the garden. So that's nearly done.
Okay, because it's quite a sun trap, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, really quite hot in here.
What about the rest of it though? Because this is one of the smallest gardens we've done,
It is.
and you really haven't got on very well.
Well, thankfully the patios are quite small. We've nearly finished this one. We've got another one to do over there for the dining area, and we're going to use a larger slab than this, so they sort of link together,
Right.
and yet somehow different.
Okay, and then just borders for the
Yep,
rest of it.
plants and gravel around the edge.
All right, excellent. She's doing well with the plants so far, so
Great.
that's excellent. But why are you doing this?
Because I don't know where Dave is.
Excuse me, Mr. Sturgeon, get out of it.
He's
Why don't you just let me get on?
I get the proper man.
Polite as ever.
Go and do your little flowery
I think-
gardeny design things, please. Let me get on with
I
building.
think we should have a whip round for a new pair of shorts for him.
Oh, I think you might be right.
don't,
Look at
To
that.
be fair, it's a disgrace.
It's fashion, man.
Eamonn,
Mark.
how good does it feel on the basis that you haven't had to do all the work today?
Well, I've done a bit of work. I've dug out the mound and I've been doing a little bit of digging, a bit of wheelbarrowing, but I've left the technical things to the experts over there.
And they've left you with a brush.
I think it's my limit. Yeah.
Well, there'll be lots more to do. That needs sweeping over there. Ooh, they're working very hard.
How's it going?
It's all right, actually. The biggest problem is that it's quite a small space. And obviously you've got a lot of people trying to do a lot of work in a day.
They have to get on well.
Yeah, they've got to get on well and they kind of have to work around each other. But I gather it's your day off today.
That's correct.
So
Yeah.
that means you get a day off in the week. So I can't understand why you're not doing the garden yourself.
Well, I did work the weekend. I worked Saturday and Sunday. So today is my day off.
So 1 day off a week. I can kind of understand why you might not want to spend that gardening. It has to be said. Now, more plants to get. Next group, the perennials. Lupinus lulu. Erect spikes of bold flowers appear from mid-spring and into summer. The mid-green stems and lightly downy leaves die down in autumn to return in spring. It likes a sunny or semi-shaded spot in well-drained soil. Eryngium borgatii picos blue, more commonly known as the sea holly. It's a thistle-like, clump-forming herbaceous perennial with silver grey-green veined leaves flowering in mid to late summer. The picos blue is an outstanding new variety. Lilium regali. This Chinese species is the easiest white lily to grow in most gardens. It's very popular for its fine display of long glistening white flowers and for their heady, memorable perfume. But watch out for the pollen, it will stain your clothes. If you do get it on your clothes though, you can get it off with sellotape. Great plants. All you've got to do to get them is tell me which of these three is evergreen. It's as simple as that. Have you got any idea what any of them are?
Oh yes, yes. And I think it's the honeysuckle.
Okay. So you think that's the plant you're going for?
Yes.
So it's honeysuckle. Any idea what the other two are?
That one's jasmine.
It is jasmine, and that's definitely not evergreen.
This one I'm not so sure about. I can't quite recognise that one.
That's a clematis.
Right.
It's actually an evergreen clematis, which is a really useful plant. So that is the answer. The honeysuckle is not evergreen. So unfortunately, you don't get this particular group of plants, but you've got lots of other plants, lovely plants. Okay, so don't worry about this because you have got a small garden. We probably wouldn't have had room for them anyway. All right.
Fine.
Next thing for you
Yeah.
is a little project.
Okay.
The paved area under the pergola's finished now, but even in a small garden, I think it's important to have a choice of places to sit, because as the sun moves around the garden, you're going to have sun in one part and shade in the other, and it's good to have that choice. Now this is the dining area here, and when you're setting it out, it's a good idea to get your table and chairs, put them here and figure out how much space you need. And remember that as the chairs get moved in and out and guests are walking around, you don't want them falling into the flower bed, so make sure it's a nice generous size. This is an Indian sandstone. Now what do you reckon about this, Dave? Is it a good thing to
I love
lay?
it. It's good stone. I would say if you're laying it at home, try and keep it a whole slabs. Like we're going 4 slabs by 4 slabs here because it's so hard to cut. Now people at home very unlikely to have the cutting equipment to cut it.
Right. Now some people do those poxy little dabs of mortar, don't they?
The
Do you not do that?
five spotting, I never do it. Sand and cement isn't expensive really. I mean, with the cost of the slabs and everything else, you might as well be generous with the sand and cement. Get it on a solid bed. Keep your air pockets out and it'll last forever.
You're such a pro.
I know.
Go on then.
You love
Get
it.
it down.
It's better fit. I'm going to look mighty silly if it don't. Look at that.
Look at that. She's a beauty.
Look at that. Bob's your uncle and Flo's your auntie.
A mirror like that will really make your garden look bigger, believe me. But it's a bit dull and boring at the moment with the old wooden frame. So guess what? You have all the materials here to make a massive transformation of that within about an hour.
Right.
All right? You can do that?
It's a challenge.
You crack on with that. I've got my own project to do, a little
Okay.
something for you for the garden, and I'll catch you with you later, all right?
Cool.
You know, Andy,
What's that then?
isn't a saw an amazing thing?
Amazing.
Now, when you think of all the high-tech tools we now use, you know,
Yeah.
chop saws and all the rest of it, and yet just a piece of metal with some teeth on.
Can cut through railway sleepers, which is pretty handy, because what I want you to do today is to take these old railway sleepers and turn them into a couple of benches.
Right, for alongside the table.
Yeah, because Maria likes her furniture, I've noticed, so I thought we'd give her a bit more. But because these sleepers have got creosote in them, you get it all over your bottom,
Yep.
you see. So I thought what we could do is put some of these stone slabs on top as well.
Okay,
'Cause we've
all
got
right.
quite a lot.
And adhere them, glue them to the top.
Adhere them to the top,
Okay.
and then make some legs as well, so raise these up a bit.
Yeah, all right, no worries.
There you go, get soaring then.
Excellent. He's amazing.
Amazing. The patios are finished now, and we've linked them with these stepping stones. And Dave's done something clever there, haven't you? What have you done?
Only because you changed your plan.
Oh,
I've just
well.
put a little engineering brick wall in along there. Got to be engineering bricks, not house bricks, because they're underground.
Okay, so they won't fall apart in the frost.
They won't
basically.
fall apart in the frost. No, they're solid. They're designed to go underground.
Brilliant. And then all the planting areas are also going to be gravelled. So what we've done is the first thing is to dig over all the soil underneath, loosen it up so that we can get the holes dug in there, no problem at all. Then on goes our plant mat, our weed mat, like that. To stop it from blowing away in the wind, nail it down like that, and that will just stop it from all blowing away. Then next thing, place all your plants out. Before you start, place them all out so you know exactly where they're going, and then move one at a time so you don't forget where it's going to go. Use a sharp knife, cut across in the weed mat like that, and then tuck the corners underneath like this. So you dig your hole, put your plant in, here's one I did earlier, and then the flaps of weed mat, you can fold them back near to the plant itself so that weeds won't grow there. And then put the gravel down, an inch or two deep, put it around the plant, but not too close to the neck of the plant because that could damage it. And then as a finishing touch, use some of these Scottish beech cobbles. Now they're only about £5 a bag, and I think that there's a good contrast, a sort of accent to the garden. They make an excellent finishing touch.
All right?
Yeah, what do you think?
It's a nice job. Yeah, very good indeed.
Good.
You finish now, so you can pop indoors.
Mhm.
Okay, don't peek.
Right.
And then I'll come and get both you and Eamonn when the garden's sorted.
Okay,
All
lovely.
right, I'll take this to the garden
Thanks,
for you.
Mark.
Good job. Very nice.
Now, any climber, when you buy it from the garden centre, will have canes in like this, but once it's in your garden, you don't need those anymore. So take them out, but then you do need some sort of support. If you're growing a climber up a pergola like this, fix chicken wire to it, and then what you have to do, give the climber a helping hand to start with, tie it onto the pergola with some garden twine, because that won't damage the stems, and then it will grow straight up to the top.
Not bad, is it?
Yeah, not bad at all.
Not bad, is it? The top's all right, having a bit of stone on, because it kind of keys in with the old patio, doesn't it?
That's it. It's all about linking stuff in. It's about harmony.
Yeah.
It's a design thing.
Design harmony. That's what this bench is.
Exactly.
Harmonious. You do a lot for your sister.
I do an awful lot for my sister. Yeah.
She says you out of the brothers, you're the handy one.
No, I'm the mug.
You could do a little bit more for her now
I could, couldn't I? Yeah.
by getting all this little lot here. Fantastic barbecue, all
Beautiful.
the tools, plus some drinking apparatus, which I'm sure.
good at that, I'm good
yeah,
at that,
exactly.
yeah.
And there are two, so you can join in. Plates, all that malarkey.
Mm-hmm.
Could be hers. Okay, but fitting very nicely. Here's your question for it. It's a horticultural question.
Oh dear.
Okay. It's going to test the old brain cells. I hope not. Here you go. Good luck. Desiree is a popular main crop variety of which vegetable? Is it onion, lettuce, or potato?
Well, I used to be a greengrocer, so it's a potato.
Easy peasy. Convenient. You've done it again for her.
Ah,
Very
excellent.
good. Very good indeed. They'll all be taken to the garden right at the end.
Marvellous.
That's you done for now. You
Thank
can
you.
pop indoors, have a chat to her, but don't say anything about the garden, and I'll
Right.
come and get both of you when the garden's finished.
Marvellous.
All right, good
Thank
effort.
you.
Excellent job. Off you go.
Cheers.
Trot along.
And steel beets are great plants for a whole range of situations. They'll grow in sun and they'll also grow in some shade. But you have to remember that if they're going to be in sun, they need a moist soil. But if they're in shade, then it doesn't need to be quite so wet. They bulk up really quickly and they're very tough little things, and they should last for years and years.
Yeah, we're all cracking quite well.
The star jasmine, Trachelospermum jasminoides, is the best climber in the world. It's evergreen, it has autumn colour when these glossy green leaves take on a reddish tinge, and it flowers for months and months and months, right the way through the summer. But on top of that, the flowers are scented. The scent is absolutely fantastic. It's a top plant.
There we go.
Both there are me, lovely.
Lovely.
This is one of Maria's existing plants, and I want to reuse it because, let's face it, everybody loves Japanese maples. They're excellent small trees for small gardens, and they do really well in pots as well. But the one thing you have to remember is to protect them from the early morning sunshine, because dew and frost on the young leaves in spring will scorch them and it makes the plant look ugly. But protect it and it will look great all year round.
Describe to us what your garden looked like first thing this morning.
Cluttered mess. with sort of balding grass and a funny mound in one corner.
They've worked very hard. You've heard them working
I have indeed.
today. They've worked very hard and they've transformed your garden. Have a look at it now.
Looking at my eyes.
You can.
Goodness, wow. That's fabulous.
Put your mirror up in the end there to make the garden seem a bit bigger. Because it was a bit small before.
Works,
It,
doesn't it?
it does, it does.
So the
I like
idea
the
is you've got a
pergola.
shady pergola at the end, going to grow climbers up the end there, and then a dining terrace here.
With a bench. I
Fabulous.
made you a bench.
Yeah, Mark's made a bench, great
Fabulous.
bench. The garden could do with a bit more colour, but somebody didn't win all the plants, unfortunately. But apart from that,
Never mind, it's absolutely fabulous, absolutely
and
fabulous.
we've
I love-
reused lots of your pots and stuff.
Yes, you have, which I'm pleased about. I did like some of my pots anyway, but I love the cobblestones in amongst the gravel. That's
Yeah, so all the
fabulous.
grass is gone, which is one of your big requirements, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
So low maintenance, so you don't have to drag Amy there from Yorkshire all the time.
Good.
You'll never see him again now.
No, done and dusted.
Bonus.
Just run through what you've been doing today, Eamonn.
Well, I have to say, Mark, being a garden invader is extremely hard work, but as you can see, very rewarding work. I've dug, I've wheelbarrowed, I've shovelled, but I've got to say, like Maria, I'm very, very pleased with the result. It's been excellent, and the guys have worked incredibly hard.
Can't believe what you have achieved in just one day. But for now, it means that I can come home in an evening instead of thinking, oh, I better organise something for that garden. I can just come out here and chill out. It's fabulous.
And for you, sir?
It means exactly the same. I don't need to take lots of time off work either. And I can chill out as well.
Can you let us out? Or are you keeping us here for another day?
We're not doing any more.
Thanks again, guys.
Open the gate. That's it, another garden sorted. Busy day.
Busy day, not bad though. Worked out the car thing.
It did, but quite a small garden though, and that's always a challenge, particularly when you're trying to put so many invaders in.
When you've got 300 invaders all falling over each other, it does make it a bit tricky.
It does. But it's another garden sorted, and we'll see you next time.